So as we get closer to this time of the spring, or in this time of the spring, we look at Aries and the science of the elevator. We understand the significance of the equinox from the fall into the spring, into discovering the circumference of the earth. The development of pi and the understanding of pi and the primordial mound and the calculation of time from observation of the sky. When we look at the Shamayim, the heavens, and the shamans, and these ancient shamans that receive knowledge by being here in the Americas to develop their elevation, right, into the areas of Ari, into the areas of the Indies, of what we know as the East Indies and the lands of Indonesia, and these regions in the time, in the area of the landmarking of the spring, where we find certain nations like the Aryan nations who invaded and established these different color caste systems to stop the progression of these ancient dark melanated travelers who use the celestial heavens and times, the
Because we're
operations of the
entering
waters,
the age of AI,
to know
we're going
when
to have
to begin their
self-driving cars and
travels
trucks in
and to
5
go
to 10
across
years.
into these different
30%
lands.
of malls are going
As
to
we
close
see
in the
now
next
how
4 years thanks
innovation
to
has
Amazon.
changed,
2.5 million call center
and how we
workers
went
in the
from
U.S. are
being
going
the
to get replaced
inventors
by
and
AI.
innovating
There was a
to
study
now
in The Guardian
into
that said the
similar to
median
like in the book
African-American
Exodus,
household net
into the
worth is going to be
captivities
zero
that
by
we have been
2053,
under throughout
like
many
in
of these
34
different
years. Did you guys
texts.
see that study?
No.
Our
Well, yeah, you should
culture,
look it up. And so why
our
are they
system
forecasting
within
that
the
African-American net
Torah
worth is going to go
was
to
supposed
zero?
to give us
It's because
influence
of this
to
economic
make
tidal
our
wave that is coming. This economic tidal wave is
trade
going to wipe out
inheritable
many working class
by
jobs.
divine rights,
And it's going to be
given
the equivalent of a natural
under
disaster.
the
When we
order
know
of
what
the
happens in a
divine
natural
order of the
disaster,
heavens.
who suffers? Poor people who don't have the resources.
So
people of color.
AI technology
And the same
and
thing's
these
going to happen
things
in this.
now
So
are
that's
looking
why
to
I'm running for president. I can see the
capitalize
tidal wave
on our
coming very, very
minds
quick.
and use our minds without paying us the profit for the development of our intellectual capabilities. So when you even look at the elevators and the science of this and the primordial beginnings, they don't teach us, when they teach us the science and mathematics in these schools and these institutions, they don't teach us how our innovators use this science to develop innovation and develop elevators, technology, and things that are used today by a lot of major corporations that hold and invest now to pay our trendsetters to now mislead and follow trends that are only going to benefit these private companies, as we see what they have done with the music industry and the music and entertainment industry. These private companies have invested in these different movies to now have these private prisons and these private police agencies enforce their law. So when we look at the privatization that's taking place in many states and how the entertainment business and how now those that are employed or those that are paid contracts, high-end contracts, are paid by these investors to increase, right, the investments in these private prisons to make more labor, cheap labor, accessible and free labor, and steal more intellectual property from the Aboriginal people of this land, which has been done. As we look at the elevator, we look at the science of the earth and how they restrict the knowledge for us to learn how to be innovative with it, unless they can receive the profit from us, from our innovations, our establishing our companies and taxes and all these different things. Right now, when we see what's taking place today in modern times, when we look at these musicians and everyone that has money, they have received their money from these corporations to keep up a facade, to keep up whatever they're generating that is bringing profit to their business. Some may not even have knowledge that they're being contracted to do this because they may not know how these algorithms and this technology is affecting certain demographics. They may not realize how their product or service is affecting their own demographic. They may not realize how the company that's been paying them for years and years is affecting their demographic in their area. So this is why this information and the knowledge that we get, knowing the earth, the observations of the heavens, has been beneficial to us in our culture, because it allows us to use the free energy and free knowledge that we have divinely entwined in us to develop services and products that will not cost the people money, because we are just by nature innovators, thought thinkers, you know what I'm saying? Philosophers. Peace.